Hello guys, welcome back. This is Credible 18. We all know that wax stick is a lifesaver for every lady. Especially if you're a lady that grow your hair or you're a lady that own 1 or 2 weeks, you know that wax stick is a go-to for you. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make wax stick from scratch. This is a DIY tutorial video on how to make wax stick with affordable, readily available materials that you can get from home. So if that sounds like something you're curious about or something you're interested in, please go grab yourself a comfy seat, sit tight and enjoy this video. So I'm going to start out by prepping the materials I'll be needing to make this wax stick. I'm going to be using 2 transparent bowls, a very small bowl. You can use any bowl you have. I'm also going to be using a candle. I'm going to be using an empty deodorant container and a grater, a small grater. If you have all these instruments at home, you can use them, but please, if it's what you use in your kitchen, make sure you wash them before using, and make sure you also wash your hands before starting out. And after using all these materials, please wash in warm water, dry and store. And of course, I'll be using shea butter, and I'll also be using a metal bowl to melt these stuffs because they're in their solid forms. We need to melt them out. So I've gotten a little bit from the candle. I won't be using the whole thing. I'll work with the quantity. It must be equal parts candle and equal parts shea butter. That's what I'm going to be working with. So I'm just going to go ahead to grate it. Initially, I tried using the smaller hole to grate it, but I noticed it wasn't really grating properly. It wasn't coming out properly, so I decided to use the bigger side of the grater. When grating, you want to be very careful not to injure yourself. Just be careful you grate. Most times, this candle tends to be very difficult to grate because it's hard. So at the end of the day, I couldn't finish grating the whole candle because my nails were starting to, my fingertip were starting to touch the grater, which I didn't want to injure myself. I just had to stop there. So I'm just going to pour it in a narrow container because candle takes time to melt, and I need a narrow container that would make the heat transfer fast. So I'll just pour it in a narrow container and work with the shea butter. So I'm going to cut the shea butter using the blunt side of the knife. I didn't use the sharp side of the knife, so you have to be careful. Use the blunt side of the knife. Cut the shea butter into bits and put them in the small bowl. So after that, I'm going to transfer both containers into a metal bowl. After placing them into a metal bowl, I would pour a measured out quantity of water into it. Please, when you're pouring water, don't let the water be too much that the containers will be floating anyhow or bending, or wouldn't want that. Make sure the water is not too much. Then place the container inside and just put it on fire on a very low heat, low and closely monitored heat. Alright guys, I put it on fire for about 15 minutes, give or take. I was monitoring it closely. I even had to tie the candle in nylon for it to melt fast because I noticed it wasn't melting as fast as the shea butter melted. So I'm just going to pour them together and turn very well. I will mix them very well, vigorously. Just mix and mix until you are sure that it is well mixed. Then you take your container. I intentionally left little fragment of the old deodorant in it because I needed that fragrance. I'm not going to put an artificial fragrance, so that old residue of the deodorant will give me the odor that I want. So I'm just going to pour it inside and make sure it is well seated. Then close it tight and refrigerate. As simple as that. I refrigerate overnight. Okay guys, this is it the next morning after refrigerating overnight. So I'm just quickly going to show you. This is how it turned out beautifully. The product was so hard, it was so solid, it was giving that wax stick vibe. It was really giving that wax stick vibe. 100. I was so impressed with the outcome. Like I was really impressed. I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to scrape out the edges, giving it that smooth edge that it needs, and I'm just going to start using it. In fact, I'm going to just keep the wax stick that I have aside and start using this right away because even the smell was so amazing. It gave that deodorant smell that I need. Although the deodorant did not mix with the whole thing, it was giving that white patch. If you look at it, you'll see white patches around. That is the residue of the deodorant, but it's not going to affect it. Alright guys, that'll be all for today. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe if you have watched this point and you haven't. Please subscribe. You can also check out other tutorial videos that you can learn from. Thank you so much for taking the time out to watch this video. See you in my next video. Have a good one.